Okay, it is actually true. He has issued a modern record number in his first days in office, far outpacing his immediate predecessors. However, many of these actions are aimed at reversing controversial policies from the previous administration. Oh, well, if they were just to reverse Trump's policies, then they don't count. I mean, they do count, of course they do, because obviously reversing Trump's policies is very important. But they don't count as executive orders, even though they were executive orders. Mostly true, or just mostly confusing? Anyway, what's in all those very important executive orders? I'm not going to tell you, because that would take 3 hours. And frankly, some of them are just symbolic and don't really change U.S. policy. Others are just pieces of a larger change in direction for the U.S. government. So in this episode, instead of listing all 42 executive actions, let's look at some of the key issues where the Biden administration is taking a new direction. Now, his executive orders pave the way. Starting with social justice. Now, most people would not describe Joe Biden as woke. He's more like my refrigerator. Old, white, full of ideas that seemed good a long time ago, but are a lot less palatable today. But when it comes to promoting equity across race and gender, Joe Biden has signed several executive orders that his younger, woker staff wrote for him. This executive order on advancing racial equity orders federal government agencies to conduct equity assessments and come up with plans for addressing underserved communities. It's partly symbolic, but theoretically, all agencies have 1 year to come up with a plan to address equity problems. This is a big shift from Trump, who simply did not make it part of his agenda. Biden also signed this executive order to combat discrimination on the basis of gender identity and sexual orientation. It demands that the government should follow existing laws that already prevent discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. There's also this memorandum to combat racism and xenophobia against Asian Americans, which may have increased since COVID-19. Like the previous executive order, this memorandum doesn't really do anything except say we should follow the existing laws. But it shows the administration is concerned about the problem. And lastly, this executive order reverses Trump's ban on transgender people serving in the military. Out of 1.3 million people who serve in the U.S. military, this only directly affects several thousand. But it suggests that over the next 4 years, the Biden administration will likely take a position that is very pro-trans. New Assistant Health Secretary Rachel Levine, and right after the break, how Biden is using executive orders to solve the coronavirus. Welcome back. The coronavirus. Now, according to sources, Joe Biden is inheriting a non-existent coronavirus vaccine distribution plan and must start from scratch. Oh my gosh, Trump had no plan? Oh wait, never mind. If you actually read the article, it quotes Dr. Fauci as saying, we're not starting from scratch, and that Biden is just making changes to Trump's plan. Either way,